What is worse than buying a truck that dies on you? Today, we are counting down the 25 worst pickup trucks nobody wants per Consumer Reports and sales flops. These are not just duds. They are money pits that break down and drive owners crazy. Weak engines, busted transmissions, useless beds, and tons of recalls make them the biggest losers on wheels. Stick around to see which truck takes the crown as the ultimate disaster. Let us start the countdown of the 25 trucks buyers hate most. Number 25, GMC Sierra 1500, 2022. GMC's light-duty Sierra hit a rough patch in 2022, earning a shaky reliability score from Consumer Reports. Sales reached 241,000 units. Not terrible, but a far cry from Ford's F-150 juggernaut. Owners grumbled about creaky interiors and transmissions that shuddered like they were haunted, often costing $2,000 to fix. The 6.2-liter V8 promised power, but delivered headaches with jerky shifts. Meanwhile, the infotainment froze more than a cheap laptop. Compared to Ram's plush rides or Chevy's smoother tech, the Sierra felt like a step back. It is not the worst offender on this list, but buyers sniffed out the flaws and hesitated. For a truck meant to compete with the big dogs, it barked louder than it bit. Number 24, Chevrolet Silverado 1500, 2021. Chevy's trusty Silverado stumbled in 2021, landing on Consumer Reports' naughty list for reliability. Sales hit 519,000, impressive, but more about brand loyalty than quality. The 5.3-liter V8 coughed up misfires, and brake issues had owners sweating at stoplights. Electrical gremlins, like gauges that flickered out, cost $1,800 to sort. A recall for dodgy airbags only fueled the fire. Sure, it is a workhorse, but when your workhorse keeps limping to the shop, you start eyeing the competition. Ford's F-150 outshone it with better polish, and Ram stole hearts with comfort. Buyers did not abandon Chevy entirely, but this model's woes made them think twice. For a truck that is supposed to be a safe bet, it rolled the dice and lost. Number 23, Ram 1500 Classic, 2022. Ram kept this old-school truck alive, but buyers were not nostalgic enough to care. Consumer Reports trashed its reliability, pointing to fuel system leaks and brakes that faded faster than a bad sitcom. Sales limped to 50,000 units. Pocket change next to the modern Ram 1500's 400,000 plus. The 3.6-liter V6 wheezed under heavy loads, and owners shelled out $1,500 to fix leaky pumps. Sure, the cabin was cozy, but that is like putting a bow on a broken gift. Dodge hoped to cash in on the past, but truck fans wanted fresh metal, not a rerun. By 2022, it was clear this classic was a relic nobody asked for. In a market craving innovation, it was stuck in neutral. Number 22, Ford F-150 Hybrid, 2022. Ford's green dream turned into a reliability nightmare in 2022. Consumer Reports slammed it for battery pack failures and transmissions that jolted like a bad dance move. Sales hit 32,000, peanuts for an F-150 variant. The hybrid system bragged 20 miles per gallon, but delivered $3,000 repair bills when electrics overheated. Towing capacity took a hit, leaving owners fuming. Ford pitched it as the future, but buyers found it more glitch than glory. The gas-powered F-150s kept raking in sales while this eco-experiment gathered dust. Owners loved the concept until they lived it. For a truck meant to lead the pack, it tripped over its own cords. In a world of rugged reliability, this hybrid was a fragile poser. Number 21, Jeep Gladiator, 2023. Jeep's off-road champ should have crushed it, but 2023 models flopped hard. Consumer Reports ranked it near the bottom of mid-sized trucks, citing steering that wandered like a lost puppy and clutches that, get this, caught fire. Recalls piled up fast. Sales hit 55,000, trailing Tacoma's 200,000 plus by a mile. The 3.6-liter V6 held up, but $2,500 suspension fixes spooked buyers. Off-road cred could not save it from daily driver doubts. Jeep fans wanted a Wrangler with a bed, not a repair bill. General truck buyers saw the price tag and ran. It is a niche ride that forgot the basics. Reliability matters more than removable roofs. For all its swagger, it wobbled when it counted. Number 20, Subaru Baja, 2003 to 2006. Subaru thought they could trick truck buyers into loving a car-based pickup. Spoiler, they could not. Hoping for 24,000 sales a year, they barely scraped 30,000 total over 4 years. Consumer Reports gave it okay reliability marks, but the 2.5-liter Boxer engine's head gasket failures hit owners with $1,500 bills. Truck folks found it too puny, while Subaru's car crowd hated the weird looks. The bed was a joke, too small for real work, and the midgate was a half-baked idea. Sales tanked to 5,000 by 2006, and Subaru waved the white flag. It was not a total lemon, but it did not know what it wanted to be. Buyers saw through the identity crisis and stayed away. Number 19, Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Hybrid, 2009 to 2013. GM's first hybrid pickup was a swing and a miss. First-year sales, a pathetic 250 units. Even at its peak, it barely hit 1,500, while regular Silverados flew off lots at 300,000. The two-mode hybrid system, cooked up with BMW and Chrysler, overheated batteries and jerk transmissions, costing $4,000 to fix. City fuel jumped 33%, but highways, no change. Buyers paid a premium for a truck that could not tow as much and broke down more. Recalls for inverter failures did not help. By 2013, GM killed it quietly and nobody noticed. It was a green dream that turned into a money pit. Consumers saw the math and bolted. Number 18, Toyota Tundra, 2022. Toyota's reliability crown slipped with the 2022 Tundra redesign. Consumer Reports yanked its recommended status, a rare slap, after turbo wastegate failures and axle nuts loosened, risking wheel loss. Sales climbed to 104,000, but Ford's 653,000 F-Series laughed in its face. The twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 triggered $2,000 repairs, and the 14-inch touchscreen rebooted like a bad phone. Owners expected bulletproof, not breakdowns. A rear suspension recall only deepened the wound. Toyota's rep took a hit, and truck buyers, used to Fords and Rams, stayed clear. For a brand that built its name on trust, this stumble was a loud wake-up call. Reliability's king fell, and the kingdom noticed. Number 17. Toyota T100, 1993 to 1998. Toyota's first full-size pickup was a misfire. Consumer Reports liked its reliability, but sales peaked at 40,000, crashing to 6,000 by 98. The 3.0-liter V6, with 150 horsepower, could not haul like domestics, and early head gasket failures cost $1,800. No V8, no extended cab at first. It was stuck in limbo. Too small for big jobs, too pricey for small ones. It floundered. Toyota's golden rep could not save a truck that did not fit the market. Buyers wanted power, not promises, and the T100 delivered neither. It was a lesson in red. Toyota learned and later birthed the Tundra. For now, this was a swing that whiffed hard. Number 16, Lincoln Blackwood, 2002. Lincoln's luxury truck was a flop so fast it is almost funny. Aiming for 10,000 sales a year, it sold 3,383 total before dying in 12 months. The carpeted bed with a power tonneau was useless for work. Water leaked in, costing $2,000 to fix. At $52,000, it skipped 4x4, a deal breaker. Buyers wanted utility, not a trunk on wheels. Ford execs dubbed it their fastest flop ever, and unsold units rotted on lots into 2003. It was a design disaster that ignored what trucks are for. Lincoln thought luxury would sell itself. Turns out it did not. Buyers laughed and walked away. Number 15, Chevrolet SSR. Chevy's SSR was a truck with a midlife crisis, a convertible pickup with retro vibes. It sold 9,000 in its best year, 24,000 total. The retractable hardtop, its big gimmick, jammed often, costing $2,500 to repair. Early 5.3-liter V8s were sluggish, and the tiny bed was pointless. At $42,000, it competed with Corvettes, but delivered none of the thrill. Truck fans shrugged, sports car buffs sneered. It had no home. Dealers struggled to fix the roof, and Chevy axed it after 4 years. It was a bold idea that landed flat. proving you cannot be everything to everyone. Buyers saw the confusion and passed. Number 14, GMC Canyon, first generation, 2004 to 2012. GMC's midsize Canyon was a Colorado clone that nobody wanted. Consumer Reports trashed its reliability, spotlighting the 3.5-liter five-cylinder engine's head failures. $2,000 fixes were common. Sales sank to a pitiful 2,200 by 2012. Electrical gremlins like faulty gauges and ignition switches drove owners nuts, while recalls for brake lights and airbags piled on the misery. GMC pitched it as a premium option, but buyers saw through the badge. It was the same old Chevy mess with a fancier grille. Dealers barely stocked it by the end, and the market did not care when it vanished. For a truck meant to stand out, it faded into obscurity faster than a B-list movie sequel. Reliability woes and zero appeal sent it packing. Number 13, Chevrolet Colorado, first generation. Chevy's small truck started hot, 150,000 sold in 2005, but crashed to 4,000 by 2012. Consumer Reports slapped it on their used cars to avoid list, thanks to the 3.5-liter five-cylinder head defects. $2,000 repairs were a rite of passage. Electrical issues were a circus. Clusters failed, fuel sensors died, and AC resistors left owners sweating. Recalls for brake lights that would not light up added danger to the mix. It was not just unreliable, it was a reputation killer. Buyers who loved it early on learned the hard way, and by 2012, Chevy hit pause on the segment. For a truck meant to take on Tacoma, it rolled over and played dead instead. Consumers saw the red flags and ran. Number 12, Dodge Ram Dakota, third generation, 2005 to 2011. The Dakota went from hero to zero fast. In 2005, Dodge sold 100,000. By 2011, just 10,000. Consumer Reports called it a reliability dumpster fire. Engine noise from the 3.7-liter V6 and valve seat failures in the 4.7-liter V8 cost $2,500 to fix. Suspension parts like ball joints wore out quicker than cheap sneakers, and the HVAC blew hot air, literally, when motors failed. Dodge let it rot with no updates, so by 2010, it was a dinosaur in a modern market. Buyers ditched it for full-sizers with real power or mid-sizers with better vibes. It grew too big to be small, too weak to be big, and nobody cared. A once solid name died quietly. Number 11, Ford Explorer Sport Trac, 2001 to 2005. Ford's SUV truck hybrid peaked at 70,000 sales in 2001, but limped to 5,000 by 2010. Consumer Reports gave it abysmal reliability marks. Transmissions failed before 70,000 miles, $2,000 repairs, and the 4.0-liter V6's timing chains rattled like a horror movie. $1,800 fixes. Interiors fell apart. Door handles snapped, windows stuck. The second gen added a V8, but the used car to avoid stigma stuck. It was too niche, neither a full truck nor a comfy SUV. Buyers wanted real pickups, not this compromise, especially as mid-size crew cabs got better. Ford killed it after 2010, and nobody threw a funeral. It tried to ride Explorer's coattails but tripped over its own bed. Number 10, Hummer H3T, 2009 to 2010. Hummer's truck barely got off the ground. 2,700 sold in 2009, under 1,000 in 2010. Built on the shaky Chevy Colorado platform, it inherited the 3.7-liter five-cylinders head issues. $2,000 repairs were standard. The optional 5.3-liter V8 overheated off-road, ironic for a truck sold as a trail beast. Consumer Reports hated its reliability, and the timing could not have been worse. Recession, gas prices, and Hummer's fading cool factor killed it. GM axed the brand, and the H3T became a footnote. Buyers did not know it existed, and those who did not care. It was a tough guy poser that could not back up the swagger. For a truck meant to conquer, it surrendered fast. Number 9, Hummer H2 SUT, 2005 to 2009. This 6,600-pound monster went from 33,000 H2 sales in 2004 to 1,500 by 2009. Consumer Reports trashed its reliability. Front differentials blew during off-road flexing, $2,500 fixes, and brakes warped under its heft. The 6.0-liter V8 and 4-speed auto strained hard, with rebuilds common before 100,000 miles. At 10 miles per gallon, it guzzled gas like a frat party, and fuel pumps failed early. It was a status symbol until the novelty wore off. Then buyers saw the repair bills and ran. Hummer marketed it as unstoppable, but it stopped itself with complexity and cost. For a truck that screamed excess, it whispered failure by the end. Consumers ditched it like a bad habit. Number 8, Isuzu I-Series, 2006 to 2008. Never heard of it? Exactly. This rebadged Colorado sold 4,137 in its best year, 227 in 2009, before Isuzu bailed on cars entirely. Consumer Reports flagged the same 3.7-liter engine woes. Valve seat wear meant $2,000 repairs. Transmission shifted hard, HVAC resistors fried, and interiors felt like dollar store plastic. Isuzu's shrinking dealer network did not help. Buyers could not even find one to test. It was a desperate grab to stay relevant, but nobody cared. Badge engineering could not save a dying brand, and the I-Series became a ghost truck. For a company once known for tough rides, this was a sad, quiet exit. Consumers ignored it, and history forgot it. Number 7, Cadillac Escalade EXT, 2002 to 2013. Cadillac's luxury pickup started strong. 14,000 sold in 2003, but faded to 2,000 by 2013. Consumer Reports gave it poor reliability scores. Air suspension shocks failed $2,500 repairs, and the 6.0-liter V8's transmission gave up early. Later, 6.2-liter models had lifter issues, causing misfires. Electronics glitched, nav screens froze, running boards stuck. Gas prices and the 2008 recession tanked its appeal. Buyers loved the bling until the bills hit. Then it was a $60,000 headache. It was a truck for rappers, not ranchers, and the market for that shrank fast. Cadillac thought luxury could trump utility. Buyers disagreed and walked away. Number 6, Lincoln Mark LT, 2006 to 2008. Lincoln's second truck flop peaked at 12,753 sales in 2006, then crashed to 4,631 by 2008. Consumer Reports noted below-average reliability. The 5.4-liter V8's cam phasers ticked loudly $2,000 fixes, and spark plugs snapped during tune-ups. The 4x4 system flaked out, windows failed, and HVAC resistors burned. It was just a gussied-up F-150 with no real edge. Buyers saw through the chrome. Ford killed it in the US, though it lingered in Mexico. For a luxury truck, it delivered budget-level headaches. Lincoln hoped to repeat Blackwood's dream without the nightmare. Turns out, they got both. Consumers picked the cheaper F-150 Platinum instead. Number 5, Suzuki Equator, 2009 to 2012. Suzuki's Frontier knockoff was a sales snooze. 5,808 sold total in the U.S. Consumer Reports, flagged radiator leaks that trashed transmissions, $3,000 repairs, plus timing chain whines on the 4.0-liter V6. Fuel gauges lied, and parts vanished after Suzuki quit in 2012. It was a rebadge with no soul. Why buy it over Nissan's original? Buyers did not, averaging 2,000 sales yearly against 5,000-plus projections. Suzuki's dying brand and thin dealer network sealed its fate. It is a rare bird now, not because it is cool, but because nobody wanted it then. For a truck meant to fight, it barely showed up. Number 4, Mitsubishi Raider, 2006 to 2009. Mitsubishi's pickup comeback was a faceplant. A rebadged Dodge Dakota, it peaked at under 10,000 sales, plummeting to 9, yes, single digits in 2010. Consumer Reports hated its reliability. Front suspension ball joints wore out fast, 1,800 fixes, and V8 transmissions flopped. A recall for a clutch switch that let manuals start in gear spooked buyers. The 3.7-liter V6 was weak, and Mitsubishi's fading brand had no truck cred to lean on. Dealers dwindled, and by 2009, it was a ghost. 1,946 sold that year. It was a desperate rehash that fooled no one. Buyers wanted real players, not this pretender, and it vanished in 4 years. For a comeback, it was more like a curtain call. Number 3. Jeep Gladiator 2020 to 2021. Jeep's Gladiator should have been a champ, but early models bombed. Consumer Reports ranked it near the bottom of mid-sized trucks. Steering wobbled like a drunk, and manual clutches overheated and exploded, triggering recalls. Sales hit 77,000 in 2021, but Tacoma's 200,000 plus laughed it off. The 3.6-liter V6 was fine, but $2,500 fixes for suspension and roof leaks soured owners. Jeep patched it with software to cut torque, lame for an off-roader. Backup cameras glitched, and buyers balked at the price. It was a niche toy, not a daily driver, and reliability woes kept mainstream folks away. Jeep's off-road cred could not mask the chaos. Consumers noticed and steered clear. Number 2. Nissan Frontier 2005 to 2008. Nissan's Frontier flopped twice. The 2005 to 2008 models had the strawberry milkshake of death, coolant-wrecked transmissions, and timing chains whined. Consumer Reports trashed them, and years to avoid lists scared buyers off. The 2022 redesign debuted with a 23/100th reliability score. Infotainment flickered, trim rattled. A recall for 180,000 units rolling away in park did not help. Sales sank below 25,000, dwarfed by segment leaders. Nissan let the old model rot too long, then botched the new one. Buyers smelled the stink of past failures and new glitches. Why risk it? For a truck meant to fight back, it kept punching itself in the face. Number 1. Nissan Titan 2016 to 2019. Meet the king of truck flops. Nissan aimed for 100,000 US sales yearly, but peaked at 52,000 in 2017, crashing to 15,000 by 2022. Consumer Reports slammed its reliability. Drivetrain issues and a jerky 7-speed transmission plagued owners. The Cummins diesel in the XD coughed up fuel pump and turbo failures. A 2022 recall for rollaway risks echoed Frontier's woes. Ford sold 47 F-Series for every Titan. Humiliating. It aged fast, competed poorly, and racked up bills. Nissan killed it in 2023, and nobody cried. For a full-size contender, it was a lightweight disaster. Buyers rejected it harder than a bad blind date. There you have it. The 25 worst trucks nobody buys, per Consumer Reports and sales flops. From badge-engineered blunders to reliability wrecks, these are lessons in what not to drive. Got a horror story with one? Comment below and subscribe for more.